Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, my friends. Let me introduce myself. I'm Dieter Van Schura, and I'm the owner of a little family company located in Bavaria in southern Germany. And we've sold mostly Japanese prints in weekly online auctions since 2001. And we produce these videos also normally about Japanese prints or contemporary art prints. But what you see here in the background, that doesn't look like an art print, no. That is a traditional Tibetan rug in a size of roughly 3 by 6 feet, or in European measurement, roughly 90 by 180 centimeters. So what is that? Is Artelino giving up offering Japanese prints and contemporary art prints? No, not at all. I'm going to explain it all. So, Shibaraku, wait a moment. I have to go back a few decades in my life now to explain that. Already as a young boy, I've always been fascinated by Asian arts and crafts. When I was a young boy, I read the book 7 Years in Tibet by Heinrich Harrau. Tibet, that was the Shangri-La for me. And in the late 1970s, I think it was 1978, I was in Nepal for the first time. At that time, it was a different world. Young people today cannot imagine that. There was no TV on main road, yeah. Must imagine. There were no cars except for a few taxis in the whole country of Nepal, and on main road there were these holy cows. Kathmandu was populated by mountain hikers, by the hippies at that time, and by backpack tourists like me. For me, as someone interested in Tibetan and Nepalese arts and crafts, it was a paradise, and it was the beginning of a great collection of mine, not of antique arts, but at that time, and partly until our days, these arts and crafts are still alive today, although the country has changed, well, so incredibly since my first visit in Nepal in the late 1970s. The last time I was there in Kathmandu, that was in 2008. I had, and still have, a Nepalese friend of mine, and he's the owner of a carpet workshop in Kathmandu. And I had the idea, let's start a project of offering Tibetan rugs in traditional designs, yeah. And I will try to sell these on the internet. Yeah, it came to life, and we sold so roughly 150 traditional Tibetan rugs in these sizes, 3 by 6 feet, roughly 90 by 180 centimeters. But I abandoned it after a while due to several problems. First of all, it was just too much. I could not handle it in addition to our main business of Japanese prints with weekly online auctions. So, yeah, you still see this as you can still take a look at this separate website. It's not artelino.com, but it's artelino.eu, but it doesn't function anymore. There's also a technical problem, and it's abandoned now for years. But, however, we still have 30 wonderful of these traditional Tibetan rugs in these old designs in our inventory. And before I continue my telling my story, let's first take a look at some of these wonderful Tibetan rug designs. A few decades have passed, well, since my first trip and several then following to Kathmandu, to Nepal. And my friends, now I'm 75 years old. And I think it's time for me and my Japanese-American wife, Yuri, to reduce our business activities a little bit in the coming year 2023 and to prepare what I want to call a new phase in our life. We want to travel a little bit. You must imagine, well, for 21 years, weekly online auctions and having an online business, that's like having a farm, yeah? You never can go on vacations, you have no holidays, you have no weekends. At the age of 75, I want to change that now a little bit. So I've decided to begin selling what I've collected over decades, like Tibetan tankas, a few Nepal statues, modern Chinese prints, plus 30 traditional Tibetan rugs, which we still have on stock. Traditional Tibetan rugs in sizes of 3 by 6, roughly 3 by 6 feet, or in European measurement, roughly 90 by 180 centimeters. My dear friends, with auction number 1765, we'll offer for the first time a few of these wonderful traditional Tibetan rugs. This auction will start December 25th and it will end on January 1st of the new year 2023. We fixed a flat reserve of $500 plus 20% commission on each of these pieces. And apart from bidding on them in the auctions, you can also buy them outside the auction on a first-come, first-served basis. And I'm now going to show you where you can find these prints with a bunch of descriptions. I've recently written 2 articles, and yeah, let's take a look at these. You find them here in our education section, and here, articles art. Come on, and they're traditional Tibetan rugs. That's the first one. And in this article, I wrote everything. No, that's not so good. I wrote everything which is important about traditional Tibetan rugs, and I also added a few of my old photographs from my Kathmandu, Nepal adventures. And here you can even see me. How old was I there? Maybe roughly 30. Typical hairstyle from the 1970s and this mustache. Yeah, it was an exciting time. Here you see even the Himalaya. Yeah, and let's scroll down a little bit. There you see how Tibetan rugs were used, rugs in monasteries, what are saddle rugs, large carpets, question mark, Tibetan rugs in Nepal. And here you find, about half of these, which we still have in stock. And when you click on one of these images, yeah, like here, okay, you get a large image with a description. And if you want to buy one outside the auction, just send us an email. And now I'm going to show you the second article that is titled How Traditional Tibetan Rugs Were Made. And there you find even 2 videos for which I got the permission. They were not made by artelino, my Tibetan friend at that time, and maybe he still is, I don't know. He was the head of the Nepalese commerce rug export association or whatever, and you can also watch them on YouTube, 2 videos, which shows how they were made. In these videos you see mostly modern designs. Yeah, this is not what artelino offers you. Artelino offers you exclusively traditional designs, which I had ordered after designs from old books, and now I'm going to show you a few of these books. Yeah, wonderful. Dreamweavers by Thomas Cole. I show you a few. Yeah, very recommendable. It's probably difficult to see. Yeah. Another one is what is that? Of wool and loom, the tradition of Tibetan rugs. And the last one, that's a speciality, the Tiger Rugs of Tibet. That was written by Mimi Lipton. I think she wrote that and published this at the occasion of an exhibition of her gallery. Anyway, 3 books. Recommendable if you're interested in traditional Tibetan rugs. It's a fascinating area, believe me. Okay, enough for today. Well, I wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thanks for watching, and thanks for bidding in our auctions and for buying from us. Goodbye and take care of yourself.